All in. I have a good one.
Wow.
Bonus hand on 12.
Welcome back, all 1,044 of you fellow poker junkies, to another episode. Normally, I don't tell you how I did at the beginning of the video because I don't want to spoil it, but this time I'm going to tell you. I won, and I won pretty big. It was a $2 game, and I ran up a huge stack. Now that said, the question is, was it just dumb luck, or was some skill involved? You be the judge of that. Let's get to the table on day number 2 of Reno in the early afternoon. For day 2, we get set up at the Peppermill again and start off with the theme hand from this trip, King Queen offsuit in the cutoff with a $600 stack. I raised to $15 after 3 limps, and the blind makes the call. The limpers fold. The flop is King of Diamonds, 8 of Diamonds, 4 of Hearts. Blind checks to me, and I'm going to bet $15 again into 36. He quickly folds, and day 2 is off to a good start. We upgrade from our previous hand and look down at the best starting pair with aces. I raised to $12 over a limp, and both the blind and the limper make the call. The flop is King of Hearts, Queen of Spades, 3 of Hearts. It checks to me, and this is a great flop for us. Lots of value targets in flushes, straight draws, and smaller pairs. I bet $20 into 36 when it checks to me, and middle position makes the call. The turn is the Queen of Clubs. Checks to me again. I don't like what I did here. I decided to check back. If I'm going to check back, I'd prefer to do it on the river rather than here. As I said on the flop, there are lots of targets to get value from, and I should bet again since the only one that's improved is a pair of queens. The river is the 9 of spades, and now he leads into me for $40. Since I controlled the pot and under-rep my hand on the turn, the flush has missed. I'm going to make the call. I know that I will get some bad news with the queen some of the time, but we should be good here enough for this to be profitable. I call, and I am frustrated with myself when the opponent shows Jack 10 for the rivered straight. Not happy with myself. I let him get there. All right, well, here is the second pair of aces that immediately showed up. Under the gun opens to $17. Huge raise sizing at a $2 blind game. All right, I think that we're up against a pretty strong hand here. Let's build a pot. I'm going to raise to $50, and this $50 bet, when he goes to 17, I have a feeling that if he's not calling, he is raising. Under the gun decides to fold. Oh, man. Not what I was expecting. I thought for sure we were going to get re-raised and have a chance to go for all the chips. Unfortunate, but we're getting some money. All right, we've been at the table for about an hour for this next hand, and I've noticed that the table's been folding a little bit too easily. Not so much pre-flop, but on the flop, folding a lot if they don't have a big piece. For that reason, I'm going to stretch my range out a little bit, and I reach down to the 4-5 suited in the cutoff. I raise to 12 over a limp and get 3 callers. The flop is deuce, 4, 9 with 2 clubs, and it checks to me. Well, it's actually a fantastic flop for our hand. We have middle pair, but other than a 9, there's not too much that's hit this super hard other than a draw, which we're ahead of. I continue for $20 when it checks to me, but we do get 2 callers. The turn is a fantastic 5 of diamonds. Everyone checks to me again. We had 2 callers before. There's probably a 9 out there. Let's get some value. I bet $70, but both players make the fold. We end up playing a short afternoon session before we head back to the GSR to eat at this place, Chickies and Pete's. My guy Color Up said that the place is worth the visit, and man, he was correct. Such good food. If you're in town, stop by the Grand Sierra and try this spot. We head back to the Peppermill for the night grind, and it's like I walked into a different poker room. Just as comfortable, just as friendly, but the action. Oh, the action. First hand of the night session is 9-10 of hearts. Under the gun has been playing a lot of hands and raises to $12. I re-raise to $35, and he makes the call. I'm only under the gun 1, but this is a player that I want to get involved with since his range should be pretty soft. We see a flop of 6 of spades, Queen of spades, 9 of diamonds, and he checks. I'm going to check behind for some more information in pot control since I only have second pair. The turn is a jack of hearts. He chooses to lead for $30, but we now have a lot of cards that will improve us on the river. I'm going to re-raise him to $110, knowing that his range should be a little bit soft. He only takes a moment before choosing a fold. King Queen offsuit again. I raise to $10 under the gun and get 5 callers. Not great for this hand. But the dealer brings us a flop that is perfect. King Deuce 9 with 2 hearts. I should have the best king. Nobody chose to 3-bet me. I'm going to bet $30 here, and everyone quickly folds. Our next interesting hand is LL Cool J's with a $700 stack from the hijack. I raise to $10, and the cutoff and button both make the call. The flop is Queen of Spades, 5 of Spades, 7 of Clubs. We allow this one to check through. The 6 of Hearts arrives on the turn, and I should have the best hand most of the time here since nobody wanted to bet the Queen on the flop. I go ahead and bet about half pot for $15, and both opponents fold. Alright, I told you that the night shift was action. So far, the first couple hands I've showed you are not big action, but here's where it starts to turn. We get later into the night, maybe the drinks are flowing enough, I don't know what it is, but man, people just start playing really wild, really crazy. It's a ton of fun. So hey look, we've got the old King-Queen offsuit again. You may remember that I attempted a play on day number 1 with the same hand and that it completely backfired. Well, now it's time to put this hand to work again. This time, let's make a profit. I've been card dead for almost 2 hours at the beginning of this hand. Under the Gun limps, and Under the Gun 1 is a solid player who normally plays 5-10, and he's aware that I've been folding for almost 2 hours straight. Since he's attentive and I have a strong image, when he opens to $15 over a limper and middle position calls, it's another perfect spot for us to go for the squeeze. I'm in the small blind again with this same hand as last time, but having a little bit of deja vu, I'm not going to worry about it too much. This time we'll get it through. I raise to $60. Very surprisingly, the limper is the one who makes the call. The other players fold as I expected. So I'm not sure what this will be. But I think this is either like ace-king that was trying to limp and then raise, or it's some kind of like medium pair that just wanted to see a flop and see if they could hit a set. We head to a flop of 9-4 deuce rainbow. Let's play this just like a big overpair like aces. I bet $55 and he calls. We're going to blast him on the turn, and unless he has a set, he should be giving up. That means a lot of dead money is coming our way. The turn is another 4. Perfect. I jam all in for his last $300. No snap call means that we... What? Huh? I'll let you hear the rest.
That's terrible news for me. You got me. I have king high. Pocket sixes.
That's right, pocket sixes. Somehow he played it exactly the opposite of what I expected and took all my chips. The action now continues to heat up. We're in middle position for this hand, and we have ace-queen offsuit. There is a very small open to $7 from early position. I raise to $22 and get a very uncomfortable 4 callers. The flop comes out looking nice for us, though. We hit top pair on queen-jack 3 rainbow. It checks to me, and I bet $60. 3 of my 4 original callers are still interested in that price and make the call. The turn is a 5, which changes nothing, and I'm going to bet again on this turn card. There aren't many cards that I'm afraid of on the river unless a king or an 8 shows up to bring in the open-ender. Other than that, I'm going to bet one more time on the river and go for small value from a worse queen again. So I bet $100 here with the plan to get one more on the river. The river changes my plans, however, when another queen shows up. Now it looks less likely that I have a queen and more likely that I am bluffing. If by some chance we are lucky enough to be up against a remaining queen, we could potentially get a huge pot here. I go big to make things look bluffy since we are either getting snap called or raised by a queen, or if the opponent has a smaller pair, I want them to feel like they have a chance and that it is a perfect bluff catcher. I bet $375, but our opponent doesn't even consider the call and folds.
It's the hand of the session. It's the hand of the session.
Well, that last hand went well, and I'm still stacking chips up when I get pocket 9s. Let's go ahead and raise them up while we stack up our piles of chips like a sultan. I raise to $12 and get 3 customers. This is a tough spot for 9s since we're facing multiple opponents. Typically, we're going to flop middle pair, or maybe not. We just upgraded from a medium pair to an extra medium top set. I bet $25, hoping to get a call from some overcards that might float here. Maybe another pair. If I am lucky enough that somebody has a set, they might go crazy. I do get a call, and then I get some unbelievable news. An opponent decides to put in a raise to $80. It is getting interesting. The player who raised me only has $250 behind. There aren't many bluffs on this board, and I don't think he'll be going away if I put him all in. I end up ripping it here. I think this was a mistake and that I probably should have bet a real number for his full stack just in case the player in between us would make a terrible call. At least give him the chance. I could have bet 200 or 250 exactly, leaving him with a few chips or putting him all in, but giving the other player a chance to call still. He, of course, folds, but our main opponent calls, and we're going to watch the run out. Ooh, that's an upgrade. And oh, baby, we got quads.
Wow. Bonus hand on 12.
We later pick up jacks when a middle position player opens to $10 and another player calls behind. Guys, we all know that jacks lose on 95% of runouts. So let's blow up the pot here. I raised to $45. The original raiser folds. The original caller folds as well. Maybe the truth is that there's no right way to play jacks after the flop. I just proved that there is a correct way to play them pre-flop. We're now up hundreds, and considering if we may want to walk soon to lock up this win. The opponent from our quad 9 hands rebuys and has been playing aggressive to try to get his money back. I pick up ace king of hearts and open to $12 in the hijack after he limps. He now raises to $60. We're in position with a premium hand. I think it'd be fine to call here and proceed with additional information before putting more money into the pot. But I also like re-raising to put max pressure on a player who's tilting a bit and just add it on for another 1K. I make it $175. Don't love my sizing. Think it should have been at least $200. But I discounted it a little bit being in position. He makes the call, which means that we are now going to need to hit a piece. Here's the flop. We have a flush draw and 2 overcards, and he chooses to check to us. I bet $150, and then he immediately rips it for his remaining $825. Now I have to ask myself, would I do this if I had a set or aces or something like that where I'm looking to get value? Probably not. So this is kind of a strange move. I would think that if he had a set, which is unlikely anyway based on the pre-flop action, that he would want to bet something like half pot or raise me a smaller amount that I'm more likely to call so he can get some value and then get his chips in by the river. This is a weird spot for him to be betting this much, and it seems like he's trying to push us out and just steal this pot. It's a huge overbet, so I'm not saying he has nothing, but it feels a little bit suspicious, probably not like an absolute monster of a hand. We're in a wild spot here, and our profit from the night is at stake if I call. I could fold and walk up for the night, but not very much. It'll feel terrible to call and lose everything if I don't improve. Okay, we didn't get 5-bet preflop, so it's less likely that our opponent is holding aces. If he has something like queens and has decided that he's just going with it, then we have 9 hearts, 3 aces, and 3 kings. If he has kings, we're about even in flipping. If he has aces, we're behind. Again, I don't think he has aces very often, and I don't think he would play a set this way. He also probably doesn't call preflop with a set. 8s or 9s are probably folding to the 4-bet. I have to call $675 to win $2,000 here. My odds are pretty good, and I probably just need to go with it. It may not feel great, but I think this is correct. I go ahead and make the call. We're going to watch the run out and
that's not good.
Try to remember to breathe.
Amounts.
There you have it. A lot of big blinds are won. It's a $2 game. We finish up $1,450 on this session. That is a good day of poker. The following 3 Patreon supporters are each getting $48 as their cut of the share. Thanks for supporting the channel and for taking a piece of the action. Always love paying you guys out when I win. If you want to take advantage of the coolest staking opportunity in poker, the information is in the description box below under Patreon. You sign up, you support the channel, and when I win, I pay out to the Patreon supporters. I love doing it. It makes it exciting to win for your guys' sake. Thanks for watching. Go crush a table, and I will talk to you again soon.